Today's Metro News television forecast is brought to you by Salango Law. Get results, not excuses.
Meteorologist Joe Ansel here with your latest forecast on a Wednesday. All of us get a break of the rain today, and then by Thursday night, Friday, Saturday, some likely chances return. It'll be potentially another active pattern, as we'll watch for some risks of excessive rain for the end of the week and the weekend. That may bring in some flood and flash flooding concerns again. Stay tuned. Zooming into Thursday, some northern areas of the state included in a marginal risk for some isolated severe storms late tomorrow. I'll keep eyes on. Today's a high-pressure weather day. Had a high of 77 yesterday, 8 below average in Charleston. Since we're dry, all the extra moisture from the recent rain, likely some patchy to widespread fog for the river valley areas. It might be stubborn to dissipate well after sunrise today. Be mindful of low visibility. And then by late tomorrow, well, time a warm front and then a cold front setting up shop northwest, and multiple rounds of passing showers and storms with those features for the end of the week. Fly Saver forecast, it starts at home. Chicago, high of 80. An isolated severe storm late in the day. Can't be ruled out there near the Windy City. From Panhandle to Panhandle, 70s to 80s. Near 80, potentially dry, sunny for you. In eastern areas, we got some low, borderline, a couple of mid-80s to the east and eastern Panhandle. Some upper 60s noted there. Some of the higher elevation spots. Be mindful of dense fog for the morning, then a mix of sun and clouds in the afternoon. To the south, dense fog in the morning, mix of sun and clouds later in the afternoon. We will have increasing warmth and humidity with some warm lows near 70 or so during the overnights. 80s for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday with likely chances of showers and storms. Monday and Tuesday are likely dry and will be increasing heat and humidity as we get drier weather Monday and Tuesday. That's when some of these higher temps will likely break through. 90 on Monday, 93 on Tuesday, and a low near 71 there for Monday night.
This is Ben Salango with Salango Law. Salango Law has earned a reputation for getting excellent results for our clients. With decades of experience handling thousands of cases, we know what it takes to deliver. Proudly voted Best in the Valley for 3 consecutive years by readers of the Charleston Gazette-Mail, Salango Law is deeply committed to giving back by investing in our community. From supporting local programs to making our region a better place to live, Salango Law is proud to be your trusted legal and community partner. Check us out at salangolaw.com.
Coming up this morning on MetroNews Talkline, we'll get an update on the flooding in Boone and Logan counties that occurred Monday evening and Monday night. A look back to the day after the 2016 floods, and get ready for a couple of trigger words: data centers. We'll talk about it all coming up. MetroNews Talkline is underway.
Do not attempt to change the station. You are surrounded. We interrupt this program to bring you an emergency news bulletin. Repeat, this is an emergency bulletin. Keep your radio turned on.
From the studios of WVRC Media and the MetroNews Radio and Television Network, the voice of West Virginia, comes the most powerful show in West Virginia. This is MetroNews Talkline with Dave Wilson and TJ Meadows.
Check set line up link. Activated Telos telephone. Switch network control from Charleston to Morgantown.
Stand by. Q Dave and TJ. You're on. MetroNews Talkline is presented by Encova Insurance, encircling you with coverage to protect what you care about most. Visit Encova.com to learn more.
Welcome inside the Encova Insurance Studios. If you're listening in on one of our great radio affiliates across the state of West Virginia, we appreciate you being part of our day. Or if you're watching in on the MetroNews Television app, Facebook Live, YouTube, don't forget, download the MetroNews TV app where you can watch this fine program, plus all the exclusive other video contents that we produce, including the high school state championships, all on the MetroNews TV app. Gang's all here, ready to go. Zach Karolchek is our video producer, assisted by intern Mila today. Sophia Wasik handling the audio side of things. You can talk to Sophia if you give us a call at 800-765-TALK, 800-765-8255. Text the show at 304-TALK-304. Folks up in the northern panhandle worked up last night during a public meeting over a proposed data center. We'll get into that later on. Second hour, Kelley Allen from the Center on Budget and Policy will join us. Also, Moore Capito, U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of West Virginia. He's here every day. TJ Meadows from the Charleston studios. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for having me. Your name's on the title.
Well, there's that.
Data centers. We're going to get into data centers.
Oh.
Can you feel the blood pressure rise just a little bit when we bring that up?
Well, I smell an opportunity when I hear those words. I know everybody doesn't agree with me on that, but we'll get into it. We'll find out what it's all about.
And not all data center and data center sites are created equal. We'll get into that discussion as well a little bit later on. Indeed, it is. But earlier this week, Monday evening, heavy rains moved across West Virginia. A narrow band brought very heavy rains to parts of Boone and Logan counties. Chris Lawrence of Metro News was out and about yesterday in Bob White, exploring some of those areas, talking to folks who are dealing with the cleanup now that the waters have receded. And he joins us from the Charleston studios. Morning, Chris.
Hey, good morning, Dave. How are you?
Doing pretty well. You were out and about, went to Bob White, a couple other places yesterday, kind of set the scene. Unfortunately, this is something folks in those areas are not unfamiliar with.
Yeah, in fact, in my career, it's not the first time I've covered a flood up Route 85. I've been up there a couple of times that I can recall. They're all a little bit different, and this one was different in that when I got to the Van Wharton Volunteer Fire Department, it too had been flooded out, yet the guys are still out helping everybody. That tells you a lot about those firefighter guys, and their own homes are being flooded, and they're still out helping other people. And that's kind of what I wanted to focus on when you asked me to come in and talk about this. This is a story I'm putting together for today. But I was traveling up 85, and most people that are familiar with that area know where the Wells Complex is. That's a huge mine in that area. Right across the road from the Wells Complex is a series of homes. There's probably 5 or 6 that are on the other side of Pond Fork, which is the main branch of water that runs through there. That bridge had washed out, so all of those homes on the other side were unable to get to the road via car. The only connection left to that community was the railroad trestle that comes out of the Wells Complex, crosses the road and the river, and then goes on the other side of Pond Fork on up the holler. But I looked over there, and somebody told me about this, so I checked it out, and I went over. I walked across that railroad trestle, and I met a lady named Mary Toller and her brother Charlie Dempsey. And Mary and their mother is 93-year-old Ruby Dempsey, and she lives there. And Mary was staying with her. Charlie lives there, and she lives with Charlie. I think that was the arrangement. But Mary happened to be there with her that night that it started raining, and I got a chance to talk to her about that.
My mother, she's elderly, and she's 93 years old. By the time they got her out, the water was up to her knees getting in my car, and that's it parked over there.
Yeah. Well, and this area here, the bridge to get to here is washed out, isn't it?
Yeah. It took the building out. It damaged everything she's got, basically.
Yeah. How fast did it come up?
Well, I don't know. I went to bed about 15 after 10, and at 11:30 they were evacuating us, and it was all the way back here.
Wow. So you had no idea then?
No, I didn't even know until somebody started beating on my door, and they was here to rescue us.
Yeah. How did they get her out of here? I mean, 93. Could she walk?
Yeah, she walked. Got in my car, and then they loaded her in a truck and took her across the railroad track. And the water was almost over top of the railroad at that time.
The trestle there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Charlie Dempsey is Mary's brother and Ruby's son. He told me a little bit about what had been lost around the house there and where he was when all this happened.
I usually stay here with Mom all the time. Where she's been sickly, she's just going from one kid to the other place,
Yeah.
But I've been with her for 15 years.
Mm-hmm. And you were telling me that all your stuff got wiped out, then all your tools and.
Yeah, and got a brand new truck over there, and it's up in the floorboard of it, and I've lost my car because it got up over the seats in it.
Yeah.
Get over the dashboard.
And like you were saying, it's hard to do anything because the bridge is gone.
Right, and it's so it dumps so much mud so thick that you have to have a piece of equipment in here to probably, if you can do anything with it, to get the debris out of the way. And it's left me a mess up through there on all this. But yeah, I was in Madison when it happened, and of course I got blocked. I couldn't get up here.
Yeah.
So she called me, told me that they was evacuating them, which we had got quite a bit of rain in Madison yesterday, but nothing like what they got here.
All right, so that is Charlie Dempsey, and he was talking about the fact that his 93-year-old mother, Ruby Dempsey, was at this house with her daughter, Mary Toller, which is Charlie's sister, and the fire chief, and this is the part of the story that's really amazing, the fire chief at the Wharton Barrett Volunteer Fire Department is a guy by the name of Mark Miller. Keep in mind, he can't get to the firehouse because Route 85 is blocked. And like you heard Charlie say, there are a lot of places on Route 85 that were blocked that nobody could get anywhere. Chief Miller is trying to get to the fire hall to help other people. Meanwhile, the fire department, the ones they could scrounge together, are out on two different calls rescuing flooded people. And all the while, their fire hall is underwater. You got 2 feet of water, 20 inches of water in the fire hall. Well, Miller is stranded right there where the railroad crossing is, and it's weighing on his mind because he knows that water is rising on the other side of the creek. So I talked to him about that part of this rescue. Tell me about the rescue of this lady after the bridge washed out. I'm told that you drove your truck across that trestle.
I did. It's kind of one of them instances where you're either hero or zero, and I'd much rather go down swinging than not. That woman's in her 90s, and I was waiting on an ATV from here to get across the trestle, and I couldn't get an ATV there, and I just decided that, well, we'll go this route with it. It was safer than trying to carry her across it, for sure.
So you just drove your truck across the railroad trestle, was it? It ain't that wide. I was looking at it.
Yeah, it scuffed the tires up a little bit, but you can buy tires every day.
Yeah.
It's not. They stood to lose more than 4 tires.
She had to be terrified. What was her condition when you got to her?
Well, when I got there, I've known the people that live there my whole life, and I noticed one of the vehicles was gone, and when I first went there, the other houses were in worse need of being evacuated than that one at the time. And but I did try to make contact with somebody there, and I couldn't get nobody to answer the door. And well, after we got everybody out of the other 3 residents, I went back to there, and I just was pretty persistent about knocking on the door. And well, finally I was able to get the caretaker, the elderly woman, up, and she come to the door, and I told her, we got to move, and we got to move now. You could literally watch with your eye the water raising on the house.
Oh, wow.
And I told her, I said, I don't have a whole lot of time to explain myself, and I know it's hard to comprehend things when you get woken up, startled. I said, but I'm going to need you to get her together. And I said, I'm going to move y'all to higher ground until I can get over here to you. And actually was able to carry the old lady out and put her in a car and move her up onto the railroad crossing. And but anyhow, once I had them in the car, then that's why I was waiting on the ATV, that it just wasn't available.
Yeah.
And
well,
I don't know.
She's safe today.
Yeah, she is. She actually was in my truck, sat in my truck for about 5.5 hours before I could get her here to the station.
Wow.
But I was able to provide them shelter and, give them a place to be in out of the weather. And I was we were just really waiting for the roads and stuff to clear up enough to be able to get her to one of her family members.
That's why you do it, man. It's a great story, man.
It is why you do it. A lot of people will criticize you for those last and sudden decisions, but I'd much rather go down swinging as to sit and watch something unfold. I'd rather answer for that is to answer for it the other way, for sure.
Hero. Straight hero right there.
Absolutely.
Saved that lady's life and probably the lives of all those other people in those homes over there because they were all getting flooded. And he took her out of there. And I can't stress enough how precarious this was. This railroad bridge, it's a railroad bridge. It's got, you know how wide tracks are.
Mm-hmm.
He's got a big, I don't know, it was a full-size truck. It's dark, and the water is almost over that bridge, and he makes the decision to drive that truck across that trestle because it's the only way to get to that lady and get her out of there safely. He said he could have carried her, but he said that was probably even more dangerous because I tried to walk from the railroad down to their house, and the mud was so slick I almost fell.
Mm-hmm.
So you can imagine trying to carry someone out of there. I just thought it was a great story, and I'm going to have more about it on WVMetroNews.com throughout the day.
No greater love than that.
Absolutely.
Talk about that family, though, Ruby and Charlie and Mary for a minute. I mean, where do you go from here? Because you talked about there's no bridge. What do they do?
Well, the Department of Highways was down there scoping the bridge. I mean, they're going to have to rebuild it.
Yeah.
I don't know how they'll do it. I mean, I've seen the National Guard throw in a bridge overnight.
Sure.
So that may be what they have to do because the only way that they're going to get that mess cleaned up, like Charlie said, they're going to need some equipment in there. My guess is that the Department of Highways will put some kind of a temporary span in there so that they can at least get in there and get things cleaned up, and then they'll, over time rebuild the bridge. But the bridge went out first. It was gone, and it's downstream from the railroad trestle. The trestle had trees and debris, and Charlie's building were all like crashed up under the bridge, and it was just creating a big dam, and it was about to go over that railroad trestle. And then they drove across it, which I'm not sure that I would have, he wouldn't say it out loud, but he basically just said, I wasn't going to sit over there and watch them die.
Mm-hmm.
He goes, I was going to do something. And, if I made a wrong move, then you can criticize me for that instead of criticizing me for taking this risk. So, but she's alive and well today.
Chris,
93 years old.
Great story coming out of that. We'll look forward to seeing it over at the website a little bit later on today, WVMetroNews.com. Great work as always, Chris. Appreciate it, buddy.
All right, man. See you later.
Coming up, we'll take a look back at the 2016 floods and some of the reactions the day after the devastation. We'll do that right after this. This is Talkline from the Encova Insurance Studios.
Hey, this is Brad Howe for your local internet provider, CityNet. High-speed fiber internet is probably at your front door, and now's the time to connect. Your tax dollars helped expand broadband access across West Virginia, and CityNet makes it real. More rural communities in West Virginia can finally get the high-speed internet they deserve. With free equipment, free installation, no contract, and local support you can trust. So whether you're streaming, working, gaming, or running your business, CityNet delivers the speed and reliability you need. When it's high-speed internet you need, CityNet.net connects, protects, and perfects.
Are you ready to reach the finish line of retirement? At the Stike team at Wealth Enhancement Group, we provide comprehensive guidance for retirement planning in West Virginia. With years of experience, we'll draft a plan tailored for your unique goals. Whether you're just starting or nearing retirement, we make the process as simple as possible, easy, and stress-free. Visit wealthenhancement.com/Stike to set up a complimentary consultation and get started on your plan today. Let's work toward your dream retirement together.
Summer in West Virginia means open roads, blue skies, and endless possibilities. But if you don't have reliable wheels, getting to work or making it to a doctor's appointment can feel like an uphill climb. That's where Good News Mountaineer Garage comes in. We take donated vehicles, fix them up, and get them to fellow mountaineers who need them the most. This summer, let's keep our community moving. Donate a vehicle today by calling 866-GIVE-CAR or visit goodnewsmountaineergarage.org. Donate a car, change a life.
You're listening to Talkline on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
Leading the efforts to build a stronger West Virginia, the High Technology Foundation has a proven plan to strengthen and diversify our state's economy. The I-79 Technology Park's high-capacity infrastructure continues to attract advanced federal operations that are driving economic growth. This keeps our young, educated residents in the state and brings West Virginians home. The High Technology Foundation, building a stronger West Virginia. Learn more today at WVHTF.org.
Sunshine, open roads, and a new Toyota from Dan Cava Toyota World. Lease an all-new Camry for as low as $398 a month. All new Tundras now up to $8,000 off. All new Tacomas now up to $4,500 off or lease as low as $399 a month. $7,500 off the new BZ or 0% financing for 72 months. We've got a Toyota for you at Dan Cava Toyota World in Fairmont. Shop the world.
5, 3. For your daily fix of sports in West Virginia, there's only one stop.
I would imagine a group of you got together and watched the Mountaineers last night. What were your thoughts on that performance?
It was funny, we were sitting with a guy last night, and he said, all right, I'm going to go put $1,000 on it. Well, down the stretch of that ball game, he's looking at us like, are you kidding me? And sure enough, the Mountaineers came back. I saw him today. He said, yep, I'm putting another $1,000 on them tomorrow.
Sportsline on MetroNews Television.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong. And they're all backed by the peace of mind protection of the industry's best limited warranty. Visit your Honda Marine dealer today and find out why it's more than an engine. It's your time on the water.
MetroNews Talkline is presented by Encova Insurance, encircling you with coverage to protect what you care about most. Visit Encova.com to learn more.
Data centers getting people riled up in the northern panhandle. We'll get into that coming up bottom of the hour. June 24th, 2016, the day after the rains and the floods and people were first getting a chance to see the damage from the overnight flooding 10 years ago. Alex Wiederspiel of Metro News filed this report from Richwood on the devastation.
There have been no reported injuries yet in Richwood, but damage to homes and businesses has been rampant. Richwood native and Main Street Motors manager Donald Duck Perrine lives and works on US 3955 just inside the Richwood city limits.
I haven't suffered right here. This just seemed like it was a cloud burst right back on this mountain, and it just come all at one time. It was just like a big river coming down through here.
But Donald Perrine said he won't let this set him or his family back.
We've been in business here since 1955, and we'll rebuild. We'll get going. The Lord's been good, and we'll keep on going.
Power and cleanup crews have begun work on downed lines and mudslides along Route 39. I'm Alex Wiederspiel, WVMetroNews.com.
Alex Wiederspiel reporting 10 years ago. Constant Reynolds lived in Charmco and lost her home.
When the flood came on March 13th, 2010, it got up around my house and everything, but my house was one of the safe ones because it was high up on the ground, and my house is gone. Everything in it is flooded.
When the waters came, it washed out the only culvert that led to the Crossings Mall in Elkview, cutting off people who were over there in that development during the flood. And former Metro News reporter Carrie Hudasek filed this report in 2016.
Some have family and friends on the other side of that small bridge in Elkview that collapsed over Little Sandy Creek, leading into a shopping plaza. It happened just off Interstate 79 Thursday night, following some of the worst flooding in Kanawha County. Shoppers can be seen on the other side, standing, sitting down in chairs, and taking pictures of the mess that sits below them. The National Guard is on its way to install a temporary bridge to get those people out and on their way, but authorities say that probably won't happen until later this afternoon. In Elkview, I'm Carrie Hudasek, 580 WCHS.
Gary King was one of those trapped over there at the Crossings Mall back in 2016.
We got lucky. I mean, we have beds to sleep in. We had food packed up for camping, and we're making the best of it.
In Greenbrier County, then Sheriff Jan Cahill described the desperate situation his department was facing.
people calling in to be rescued in their attics. You know, the water came up to the first floor, second floor, you know, elderly, young, diabetics, people in wheelchairs. I mean, people, and then people, when you would call them, sometimes they were just completely in shock. They were just in shock.
Cahill in 2016 on the impact to the thousands of county residents in Greenbrier County.
Homes destroyed, roads destroyed, bridges, homes off foundations, homes burnt down, homes floating down streets.
Again, that's Greenbrier County, former Greenbrier County Sheriff Jan Cahill back in 2016, the day after those floodwaters came up, as residents were starting to get an idea of the damage that was done and some of the devastation left behind. We have continuing coverage of the 10-year anniversary of those 2016 floods over at the website, wvmetronews.com. There will be a remembrance later this week. In fact, it'll be Friday evening in Raynell, remembering the 10-year anniversary of those floods. All right, coming up after the news, we will switch gears. The data center discussion in the northern panhandle, a site near Wheeling, is being considered for a possible data center. But what's different about this discussion? What's the same about this discussion? We'll dive into that coming up after the news. Top of the hour, Kelley Allen from the West Virginia Center on Budget and Policy will join us. Your text as well, 304-TALK, 304-800-765-TALK, 800-765-8255, the phone number. This is Talkline on Metro News. Metro News for 40 years, the voice of West Virginia. It is 10:30, time to get a news update from the Metro News Radio Network. Find out what's happening all across the great state of West Virginia.
Today's Metro News television forecast is brought to you by Salango Law. Get results, not excuses.
Meteorologist Joe Ansel here with your latest forecast on a Wednesday. All of us get a break of the rain today, and then by Thursday night, Friday, Saturday, some likely chances return. It'll be potentially another active pattern, as we'll watch for some risks of excessive rain for the end of the week and the weekend. That may bring in some flood and flash flooding concerns again. Stay tuned. Zooming into Thursday, some northern areas of the state included in a marginal risk for some isolated severe storms late tomorrow. I'll keep eyes on. Today's a high-pressure weather day. Had a high of 77 yesterday, 8 below average in Charleston. Since we're dry, all the extra moisture from the recent rain, likely some patchy to widespread fog for the river valley areas. It might be stubborn to dissipate well after sunrise today. Be mindful of low visibility. And then by late tomorrow, well, time a warm front and then a cold front setting up shop northwest, and multiple rounds of passing showers and storms with those features for the end of the week. Fly Saver forecast, it starts at home. Chicago, high of 80. An isolated severe storm late in the day. Can't be ruled out there near the Windy City. From panhandle to panhandle, 70s to 80s. Near 80, potentially dry, sunny for you. In eastern areas, we got some low, borderline, a couple of mid-80s to the east and eastern panhandle. Some upper 60s noted there. Some of the higher elevation spots. Be mindful of dense fog for the morning, then a mix of sun and clouds in the afternoon. To the south, dense fog in the morning, mix of sun and clouds later in the afternoon. We will have increasing warmth and humidity with some warm lows near 70 or so during the overnights, 80s for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday with likely chances of showers and storms. Monday and Tuesday are likely dry and will be increasing heat and humidity as we get drier weather Monday and Tuesday. That's when some of these higher temps will likely break through. 90 on Monday, 93 on Tuesday, and a low near 71 there for Monday night.
This is Ben Salango with Salango Law. Salango Law has earned a reputation for getting excellent results for our clients. With decades of experience handling thousands of cases, we know what it takes to deliver. Proudly voted best in the Valley for 3 consecutive years by readers of the Charleston Gazette-Mail, Salango Law is deeply committed to giving back by investing in our community. From supporting local programs to making our region a better place to live, Salango Law is proud to be your trusted legal and community partner. Check us out at salangolaw.com.
When you hired me, you were 29. You seemed like you were 50 when you were 29. You were running that thing like a 50-year-old man. All right, we got to go get some tape. Come on, get out of there.
I think I've sort of always been 50, and I think I'm 50 now.
Yeah, me too.
That's
me too.
a great point.
Join Tony Caridi, Brad Howe, and Hoppy Kercheval for 3 Guys Before the Game. Metro News Television. Available on mobile, Roku, Fire TV, smart TVs, and online at wvmetronewstv.com.
Text line 304-TALK-304. Texter says, God bless the hero that saved that elderly lady. That's sheepdog courage right there. I agree. Absolutely. Chris will have that story posted coming up just a little bit later over at the website, WVMetroNews.com. Data centers getting folks riled up in the Northern Panhandle. We'll get to that in just a moment. A little bit of an on-air audible, TJ, if you will indulge me. Earlier this morning, you had the opportunity to sit in on a call that included the State Board of Education President Paul Hardesty, as well as other reporters, including friends of the show, Steve Adams and Amelia Nicely. They were posting some of the details from that meeting on social media this hour. And let's just be blunt, TJ, it's not great news for the trajectory of the public school system. So what'd you find out this morning?
So I listened in on that call, didn't ask many questions. I asked one. But,
Brad was there, too. I don't want to short him. Brad was there, right?
Brad was there.
Sorry.
I'm sure all three of those individuals will have stories about what was communicated. But the message was this. We continue to ignore the funding formula issue in West Virginia and overall school funding in West Virginia. And we're starting to come up against it. You know, we talk about special ed funding and how the counties aren't whole. It's much more holistic than that. What we heard today was typically there's a 10-year plan. And in that 10-year plan that the counties put together, there are a number of schools that are slated for closure based on our enrollment going down. Is it going up? Are you going to need new schools? What they told us this morning was we are 6 years into that planning cycle currently of what was previously submitted. And in 6 years, we have already closed all of the facilities that were to be closed in 10 years. So we've escalated that in order to try to keep the financial house in order. There's that point. The other takeaway that I heard this morning, as many as 10, possibly even 20, 10 to 20 schools are being looked at potentially for closure next year because of planning issues, financial issues. What I took away from the meeting at a high level is this. Many of these county school systems are bleeding. Many are on the verge of insolvency and simply cannot continue to operate the way that they have, given loss in enrollment, loss in revenue from that. West Virginia is changing. And this goes beyond the Hope Scholarship, Dave. We would be here whether or not this was the Hope Scholarship, and we had it. I mean, so I don't think you have to be a financial wizard and have huge financial acumen to understand that we have a problem. And the longer that the legislature refuses to deal with this issue, that was the essence of what Paul Hardesty was saying on this call. He's state board president. The longer we continue to let this fester and we don't figure out a way to fix this, the worse it is going to get. And the closer that we get to insolvency. His term was this: the boat is getting ready to hit the rocks. Are we going to let it hit, or are we going to stop it?
This seems to follow the pattern. And the analogy I use is this is like sitting in a courtroom listening to a prosecutor build his or her case against the defendant. This is another piece of building this case that when lawmakers get together for the regular session in January, here's another piece to this puzzle. This is why we have to do what we are going to do, and that is going to be, I would think at this point, TJ, a drastic change to the school aid formula. Because the student enrollment based, and that's what the current enrollment formula is, it's student enrollment based, is not working.
No.
The formula for how many employees that school systems can employ is not working. There needs some drastic change is needed. And I think lawmakers, at least the ones I talk to on a semi-regular basis, have received the message and understand. And this is part of this, if you will, building the case for whatever drastic change, because there's going to be a loser. We talked about this the other day. There are going to be counties that will come out not as good as they are right now. It's probably the ones that are getting more funding currently. But this is building that case, and Paul's right. I mean, you've run the numbers. You've looked at the data and the spreadsheets. We are headed on a crash course with bankruptcy in some of these situations.
Here's where it becomes speculation on my part. A couple of things. I don't want to disagree with you. I do think there are some legislators who get it. I think Joe Statler gets it.
Amy Grady.
I think Amy Grady gets it. I think there are still, and these are the only conclusions I can draw based on the fact that we haven't, how long have we been kicking this can now? We've been talking about it 2-3 years. Certainly been talking about it since you and I took over here, and that's coming up on 2 years. Hoppy talked about it for I don't know how long. So you saw this coming. The data is there. You don't have to be brilliant financially to understand the problem. And yet, nothing has happened, session after session. So that leaves me to conclude one of two things. People either don't get it, and we're going to have to draw it in crayon. Okay, fine. Or people don't have the political will to do anything to fix it, because it is hard to go back to your county. Maybe one of your counties is in this situation where, yeah, we're going to have 2 elementary schools instead of 4, and we have to close because we just can't make it happen. It is hard to go back to your constituency and say, yes, I voted for this revision of the school aid formula that's also going to mandate consolidation, and we're going to have to make some changes. It is much easier to do that, is it not? If you are bankrupt, if you have hit insolvency, it is much harder for constituents to blame a politician once you have hit bottom and then you react than it is comparatively to proactively address this situation and face the political consequence. It's got to be one of two things, right? Because the problem seems apparent.
Let me offer a third thing. Okay. And I would have balked at this 5 years ago. I would have totally balked at this 5 years ago. And I'm not necessarily sold on it, but I'm having had a much closer, intimate view of what's going on. At the very least, special interest groups. And I would say there are some, TJ, that, how do I phrase this? There are some who would be happy to go, well, we had to close X school in this county, but there are public charters available. There are private schools available. There's homeschool. I would have balked at the idea that there was anybody in the legislature who would be happy to see public schools failing. 5 years ago, I would have balked at that. I don't know that I would balk at that idea anymore. So I'm not saying that's true. I'm just throwing it out. I'm not saying, I'm just saying thing. But that is something that I would have said, no way, that's not possible. Today, maybe it is.
Well, you're certainly not being hyperbolic.
No.
And maybe it's a combination of all three of the things we're talking about here.
Sure. Maybe it is. You're probably right.
But, I mean, come on. Let me clue you in. If you're listening and you get a vote in the legislature, we are bleeding financially. If you don't believe me, call me. I will walk you through the numbers. This dog will not hunt. So don't say nobody didn't tell you. I just told you.
I've been told for how many years? Well, we've been here too almost now. So at least that long. 304 Talk 304. That's the text line. Again, Amelia and Stephen Adams, they were in on Amelia nicely. I don't even use her last name anymore. It's just Amelia. It's like Cher. They were in on that call. Brad was there as well. So that's why I wanted to bring that up since you all were involved in that this morning. 304 Talk 304. That's the text line. 800-765-8255. The phone number. We'll get to the data center discussion next.
A holiday getaway to the 64th Annual Mountain State Art and Craft Fair, July 2nd through the 4th at Cedar Lakes in Ripley, West Virginia. Shop for handmade Appalachian crafts, enjoy live music, a quilt show, and don't forget the great food. Celebrate America's 250th at America's largest small-town Independence Day celebration. Learn more at RipleyCVB.com. It's all happening on Independence Day weekend in beautiful Ripley. Once you do it, you'll be back.
Picture a community where every space tells a story. Those are the communities we're designing at ZLM Architects and Engineers. With a blend of creativity and technical expertise, we design spaces that inspire, innovate, and ignite change. From cutting-edge educational facilities to community-centric gathering spaces, we're committed to improving lives through design. Let us help you shape a brighter future for generations to come. Because at ZLM, it's more than architecture. It's about building your legacy.
You're listening to Talkline on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
For couples that are experiencing infertility, about half will have the male factor in the diagnosis. At the WVU Medicine Center for Reproductive Medicine, we offer a wide array of treatment options for male factor infertility. There's really no reason you would need to go anywhere else. If we can identify and treat male factor infertility, we can prevent couples from even having to go down the road of IVF, saving you potentially money and time. We're here to help build a family. We have the capabilities and we care.
In 1914, the same year the first commercial flight soared and the Panama Canal opened, Greer Industries was born. Herbert and Agnes Greer began in Morgantown, West Virginia, striking the first pick into the limestone formation that would become the backbone of one of the state's great industrial legacies. From the roads we drive on, the buildings we build, and the communities we serve, Greer Industries has been delivering quality for decades. At Greer Industries, we've been improving lives for more than a century.
Download Metro News Television on your iPhone or Android. Search Metro News Television in your app store. Create an account today to get alerts and watch all live and archived content. Download now.
At Daniel's Men's Store, exceptional style begins with a curated selection and finishes with a flawless fit. When it's time to buy a suit, Daniel's is here to make sure yours is one of a kind. Discover tailored suits you'll only find in-store at Daniel's.
Longer days, warmer drives, and better deals at Dan Cava GMC. Hit the road in one of our new luxury GMC Acadias. Take your pick from our massive selection. Now up to $5,500 off select new Acadias and 3.9% for 60 months. The great deals continue with our large selection of quality pre-owned vehicles. All this and more at Dan Cava GMC in Bridgeport. Shop the world.
MetroNews Talkline is presented by Encova Insurance, encircling you with coverage to protect what you care about most. Visit Encova.com to learn more.
304 Talk 304, that's the text line, 800-765-8255, the phone number. U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of West Virginia, more Capito, coming up in the second hour. From the Wheeling Intelligencer, our friends from Ogden Newspapers up in the Northern Panhandle, a new computing and energy technology campus is being eyed for a former industrial site in Warwood, that is northern Wheeling. 4 parcels of land connected to the Center Foundry and Machine Company at 74 Warwood Avenue were sold earlier this spring to Silicon Foundation Energy, LLC. It was acquired for $1.5 million. According to the buyer's website, Silicon Foundation is redeveloping the brownfield industrial site into a phased GPU, graphics processing unit, data center, and energy technology campus built around existing power, cooling, fuel, battery energy storage systems, and modular power infrastructure. Well, this news caught the attention of residents and political candidates, and yesterday prompted an impromptu town hall meeting to share concerns about the new data center proposed for the former Center Foundry and Machine Company property. Delegate and state Senate candidate Democrat Sean Fluharty organized the event following the public concern about the development. And as you might imagine, there were a lot of questions, a lot of folks upset. Fluharty brought up House Bill 2014. Senator Laura Chapman, who represents that's the 1st district up there, right? Yeah. The 1st district up in the Northern Panhandle. She was there as well, but, folks didn't really want to hear too much from her, although she did take time to speak with individuals following the meeting. Citizens shared concerns about the facility's electricity consumption, water use impacts on the neighborhood, and possible other effects such as such an industry in the mostly residential neighborhood could have. That is the baseline, but here is the two trigger words, TJ, that I think has sparked the reaction, and that is data center. And I say that because anybody who's familiar with that Route 2 area knows where this foundry shop was. It's already zoned industrial. It already has access to the grid. It already has access to natural gas. It already has access to water. It is already set up for, wait for it, industrial use.
Mm-hmm.
This is not as if a data center is being proposed on pristine farmland or next door to some of the most popular tourist sites. This is an industrial use site, and that is a very different conversation than some of the others we've had with these proposed facilities and their locations. So that's number one when it comes to this discussion.
Couple of thoughts. You just hit the nail on the head. Some of the things that I've seen in following what was discussed last night at this meeting on social media, well, it's going to raise my electric bill. From what I can see and reading in this piece in the Intelligencer, to your point, it's an industrial site. It already has access to adequate electricity. If anything, that 100 megawatt load, and let's remember, it's going to grow to 100 megawatts. I think they said, starting maybe around 10 megawatts. All that would do would dilute the fixed cost that's already on your bill. It would lower your bill based on what I know now. So there's that. Number two, this is a GPU unit, meaning they focus on graphics processing, 100 megawatts. Yes, that's a big data center. It's not what Google is building. It's not what we're talking about in the Panhandle. It is comparatively small to a gigawatt data center, which I believe is what we're talking about in Putnam County. So there is that. Number three in my mind, and I'm not dismissing anyone's concerns, and yes, this developer, if they're not doing a better job of reaching out to the public, they've already screwed up. Surely we've learned that by now. Be more proactive, reach out to the public, engage the public. I get that it's early, but in this state, the way this is going, as well as across the country, this isn't going to get easier, developers. Make it easier on yourself and be more proactive. But with that said, what did we just talk about in the previous segment? What would fix that? Tax revenue. Tax revenue. Folks, we can't have it both ways. We can't be isolationists in this state, cut ourselves off from the rest of the economic world, and expect to have the same standard of living. Until somebody shows me a better way forward, I'm not saying accept every data center that comes down the road, but I wouldn't look a gifted horse in the mouth either, Dave.
I agree with you. And look, they just closed on this property.
Yeah.
I mean, within a couple of months? Yeah. And some of the questions that are being brought up that were posed by Delegate Fluharty, I mean, you're asking for the fine details of what you want to do, and they just closed on the property. A lot of this is very conceptual at this point. This is what we intend to do. Is this the way we got to operate now, that you have to answer to the state legislature or politicians with every single fine detail before you put any of your capital into this property? Give them a chance. You're right. If that's what you're going to do, you've got to make it easier on yourself as a developer.
But if you know you're going to do it, I take your point. That's well taken.
Absolutely. But on the other hand, you're asking for fine details on a property. And here's the other thing, TJ. I still am unclear when House Bill 2014 is applicable and when it is not, because there are things in there that certainly take away local ordinances that can be enforced and how the tax money is divvied up. Is 2014 applicable here? I mean, we've only got 2 certified sites right at the moment. I don't even know if it's applicable in this situation yet. But you've got a politician, and I'm call out Delegate Fluharty here, who's going out there basically telling people, you have no control, you have no part in this, and I don't even know if that is true yet or not.
So this, folks can hear the excitement in my voice. I'm on vacation next week. I don't think we've mentioned that. But one of the things I am going to do is I am pulling the full administrative order, the administrative law around 2014, and I'm going to read it next week and make myself some detailed notes.
That's a heck of a vacation, man.
I tell you, man, to understand what triggers and what doesn't. And caveat here, if somebody knows better, call me up, text us. I don't think a 10 megawatt facility is going to trigger that. I don't think that's big enough. I think it's 90. I have to look. So at what stage would they get to 90? If they get there, yes, it would trigger it. And yes, they would have to go through the processes that Nick Preservati talked about last week, and they would have to have mitigation plans. Are they close to schools? Are they close to churches? All of the things that we worry about. How's the water going to be, provided to this facility? Those kinds of things. But to your point about being early, Capito watches responses. And here's what I mean by that. If you're the next developer, if Dave Wilson Incorporated, who develops data centers, or Meadows Incorporated that does it, we're looking across the country and we're saying to ourselves, I can deploy capital here, here, here. How do they feel about this in West Virginia? Are we wanted? And I know people think that sounds trite. It sounds cliche. Trust me, Capito does not want to go where it is not wanted because it doesn't want the headache. It wants to find the sweet spot where all of the variables that you talked about at the onset come together. And oh, by the way, people want the development because it makes your life easier. No one wants a headache. So we're projecting here, whether we realize it or not. And I don't want to dismiss anybody's feelings, but folks are watching. And it's a big factor in the decision.
And this is, I go back to where I started, to me, it's a very different situation than... we don't have virgin land, but, undisturbed land or undeveloped land, right? This is an old foundry plant that's not being used. It's an eyesore. Drive by it on Route 2. You cannot miss it. Drive that way all the time. You cannot miss it. Do you want something that can be developed, that can contribute to revenue? And I'm sure Ohio County schools could use any extra dollar they can get at this point. Do you want that, or just leave the industrial site there empty?
Well, help me understand something. I've never been by it. I mean, is it close to houses? I mean, would there even be a light pollution and noise pollution concern?
Could there be any more? There are houses nearby, but it was a steel plant. I mean,
fair. Yeah.
They aren't quiet the last time I was by one.
No, right. Well taken.
Got to take our final break of the hour. Tell you what's coming up, hour number 2. This is Talkline from the Encova Insurance Studios. Back in a moment.
At WVU Medicine, innovation is redefining men's health. Our specialists use advanced techniques like no needle, no scalpel vasectomy, and cutting-edge procedures for infertility. We offer precise vasectomy reversals, targeted solutions for pain, and the latest in testosterone replacement therapy, all designed to improve outcomes and recovery. For appointments, call 855-WVU-CARE or visit wvumedicine.org/urology.
We are there for you, to care for you at the health plan. We are here for you.
For over 4 decades, we've been rooted deep inside West Virginia. Through thick and thin, supporting local families and businesses. Proudly serving your neighborhood since 1979. Your trusted partner in the community.
The health plan, we are here for you.
You're listening to Talkline on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
I'm Sean Kovich, Mountaineer Golf Coach. When disaster strikes your home, business, or golf game, call the restoration company the Mountaineers call. Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration.
Leading the efforts to build a stronger West Virginia, the High Technology Foundation has a proven plan to strengthen and diversify our state's economy. The I-79 Technology Park's high-capacity infrastructure continues to attract advanced federal operations that are driving economic growth. This keeps our young, educated residents in the state and brings West Virginians home. The High Technology Foundation, building a stronger West Virginia. Learn more today at wvhtf.org.
For couples that are experiencing infertility, about half will have the male factor in the diagnosis. At the WVU Medicine Center for Reproductive Medicine, we offer a wide array of treatment options for male factor infertility. There's really no reason you would need to go anywhere else. If we can identify and treat male factor infertility, we can prevent couples from even having to go down the road of IVF, saving you potentially money and time. We're here to help build a family. We have the capabilities and we care.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong. and they're all backed by the peace of mind protection of the industry's best limited warranty. Visit your Honda Marine dealer today and find out why it's more than an engine. It's your time on the water.
Jackpots are growing. Jackpots are on the rise in West Virginia. Each and every week, Powerball hits Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays. Mega Millions lights up Tuesdays and Fridays. That's 5 chances a week to get in on life-changing jackpots. Play in store and online. 18 plus to play. Please play responsibly. Powerball jackpot is $327 million. Mega Millions jackpot is $489 million. So go ahead. Play today. From D.C., President Trump has canceled the bill signing for the housing bill and is back to pushing the Save America Act? The Save Act? Safe Act? It's that Save America Act, saying he's canceling the signing until the Save America Act is passed. So things going swimmingly in Washington, D.C. today. Oh, I didn't even realize what I did there. Swimmingly. Pool.
Very nice. Very nice.
I realized I did it.
They cut it. They cut it.
Second hour talk lines coming up on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
Today's Metro News television forecast is brought to you by Solango Law. Get results, not excuses.
Meteorologist Joe Ansel here with your latest forecast on a Wednesday. All of us get a break of the rain today, and then by Thursday night, Friday, Saturday, some likely chances return. It'll be potentially another active pattern, as we'll watch for some risks of excessive rain for the end of the week and the weekend. That may bring in some flood and flash flooding concerns again. Stay tuned. Zooming into Thursday, some northern areas of the state included in a marginal risk for some isolated severe storms late tomorrow. I'll keep eyes on. Today's a high-pressure weather day. Had a high of 77 yesterday, 8 below average in Charleston. Since we're dry, all the extra moisture from the recent rain, likely some patchy to widespread fog for the river valley areas. It might be stubborn to dissipate well after sunrise today. Be mindful of low visibility. And then by late tomorrow, well, time a warm front and then a cold front setting up shop northwest, and multiple rounds of passing showers and storms with those features for the end of the week. Fly Super forecast, it starts at home. Chicago, high of 80. An isolated severe storm late in the day. Can't be ruled out there near the Windy City. From Panhandle to Panhandle, 70s to 80s. Near 80, potentially dry, sunny for you. In eastern areas, we got some low, borderline, a couple of mid-80s to the east and eastern Panhandle. Some upper 60s noted there. Some of the higher elevation spots. Be mindful of dense fog for the morning, then a mix of sun and clouds in the afternoon. To the south, dense fog in the morning, mix of sun and clouds later in the afternoon. We will have increasing warmth and humidity with some warm lows near 70 or so during the overnights. 80s for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday with likely chances of showers and storms. Monday and Tuesday are likely dry and will be increasing heat and humidity. As we get drier weather Monday and Tuesday, that's when some of these higher temps will likely break through. 90 on Monday, 93 on Tuesday, and a low near 71 there for Monday night.
This is Ben Solango with Solango Law. Solango Law has earned a reputation for getting excellent results for our clients. With decades of experience handling thousands of cases, we know what it takes to deliver. Proudly voted best in the Valley for 3 consecutive years by readers of the Charleston Gazette-Mail, Solango Law is deeply committed to giving back by investing in our community. From supporting local programs to making our region a better place to live, Solango Law is proud to be your trusted legal and community partner. Check us out at solangolaw.com.
MetroNews Talkline is presented by Encova Insurance, encircling you with coverage to protect what you care about most. Visit Encova.com to learn more.
Second hour of MetroNews Talkline. Dave and TJ. Dave in Morgantown, TJ in Charleston. Our phone number is 800-765-TALK, 800-765-8255. You can text the show at 304-TALK-304. Gang's all here. Sophia Wasik handling the audio side of things. Zach Karolchek and intern Mila are handling the video stream. We appreciate you listening in on our great radio affiliates across the state of West Virginia. You can also watch this show if you care to look at the two of us for 2 hours. I mean, who wouldn't? You can watch on the MetroNews TV app, YouTube, and Facebook Live. More Capito, U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of West Virginia, will join us coming up at the bottom of the hour. We have neglected the text line. We will get to that coming up as well. Say good morning once again to TJ Meadows in the Encova Insurance Studios South. Good morning, sir.
Morning, sir. It's wonderful to be here with everyone.
Have you checked oil price? We were checking that on a daily basis there for a couple of weeks there. Have you checked today? I keep seeing reports their oil prices dropping.
I have not checked today, but I can check in about 10 seconds if you give me the opportunity to do it.
I keep calling audibles here while we're live on the air.
Buddy, keeps
gas
me young.
Prices, what are we, $3.66 here in town?
Ooh, this is interesting, David. This is interesting.
Go on.
Oil. West Texas Intermediate, American Oil, $69.94. You know what it was? It was about $68 a barrel when this whole sleigh ride started. So the price better be coming down. Brent oil down, that's the international trademark, down $73.53 a barrel, down 4.6% today. So pressure will be back on the industry. And, you know, they say, look, prices, they shoot up and then they fall like a feather, right? They go up like a rocket, fall like a feather. There's reasons for that. But American public, rightfully so, I mean, they're going to be like, hey, guys, it was 68 when this whole thing started. What's going on? What's going on? And gasoline prices they've fallen.
Yeah.
I mean, at least in my neighborhood. I don't know about where you drive every day, but they're down from what they were.
Yeah, they're down. Like I said, it's $3.66 here in town. When we left Wesleyan last week, it was like 3:45 in Weston, I think is where I stopped to fill up.
Mm-hmm.
I can't believe I was excited for $3.45 gas, but here we are. It's 2026.
I remember when I graduated high school, and that was many moons ago, obviously, back in the 90s. I think it was 90 cents a gallon.
Sounds about right. Yeah. When I got my driver's license, it was about a buck a gallon. $20, more than enough to fill up my Chevy Cavalier at the time.
I'll do the math at some point and track inflation and see how far above we really are, and then either be really happy or really mad, one of the two.
I remember complaining in college because Marshall Baseball at the time was playing its conference games over in Charleston, and we were at the student station, and we were complaining about the cost that we had to endure to pay that $1.40 per gallon gas to get to Charleston. And we demanded per diem or whatever it was to be compensated. $1.40. We couldn't afford it. I digress. Back in my day. All right. Another segment of Back in Our Day.
Sound like Grandpa Simpson there. That was well done.
I'm going to go yell at clouds and tell kids to get off my lawn later this afternoon. The West Virginia Center on Budget and Policy has issued a new report. It's called Putting People First and outlines bold, actionable blueprints to harness West Virginia's natural and economic wealth to benefit its local workers and families. Joining us from the West Virginia Center on Budget and Policy is Kelley Allen, friend of the show. Kelley, good morning. Do you have any back-in-the-day stories since we're, telling folks how great it used to be?
Back in my day, when I was an undergrad at WVU, the Promise Scholarship covered 100% of tuition. Now it's about 50, 60%.
Yep, I remember that as well. Back in my day.
Young kids. We didn't even have Promise when I was an undergrad at WVU. That's how old I am.
My graduating class was the first one to get the Promise Scholarship. Governor Wise came to the high school. It was a big deal. Yeah. All right. Another segment of Back in My Day coming up at 11:33. We'll get more in on this as well. All right, Kelley, the report, Putting People First, bold, actionable blueprints. What is the bold, actionable blueprint? Give me the outline, then we'll dig into it a little bit.
Yeah, well, we think the ability of families and workers to afford the basics, gas, healthcare, housing, childcare, really shows how well our economy is working. And by those metrics and broader economic measures, the state's economy really isn't working for most people. So as you said, this report is really a roadmap for policymaking that says, let's put West Virginia families and workers first. And we can still grow our economy. If we do that, we can grow our economy, attract people and businesses here in all corners of the state. Again, by first investing in the people and businesses who are already here. Let's shore up basic infrastructure in rural places, flood resilient infrastructure, clean water, good roads, coal mine cleanup, natural gas well cleanup, ensure that workers can afford the basics and that a hard day's work is enough for a worker to provide for themselves. And that worker first, family first perspective is really different than what we've been doing. Going back to at least the mid-2000s under both parties, we really operated on this theory, pushed by folks like the Tax Foundation and the Chamber of Commerce and other corporate interests that we could grow our economy through tax cuts, through deregulation, through corporate subsidies. And, all available data shows it hasn't worked. The growth that was promised hasn't materialized, and places that have seen growth have been, just a few counties, while the rest of our counties have, suffered from lack of infrastructure, closing schools, closing hospitals, those sorts of things. We haven't seen job growth for a decade. We rank near the bottom on GDP, on household incomes. We're one of the most dangerous states for workers. So instead of growth, the legacy of our tax cuts going clear back to 2009 and the corporate net income tax cut has been an empty flood resiliency fund, closing schools, lowest teacher and public sector pay in the nation, flood-prone land. So this is just saying, let's give workers and families what they need. Let's invest in infrastructure, and people and businesses will want to come here.
So walk us through some of the action items. You all have several proposals, ways you think you can fix the problem, which credit due. How many people come on? We got this problem, this problem, this problem. They have no solutions. You guys are proposing solutions. So credit where credit's due. Walk us through what you would like to see in order to make it all better.
Yeah, so the report's really divided into three sections. So the first one is around good jobs. So one, making sure we're using state and federal infrastructure funds to put people to work in the very places that currently lack jobs. The same places that aren't growing are the same places that need clean water, roads, coal mine cleanup, natural gas well cleanup. So let's make sure we're maximizing these state and federal dollars to put West Virginians to work and to also improve infrastructure in those areas. And then two is just really ensuring that anybody who puts in a hard day's work in the private or public sector is able to afford the basics, have basic protections, basic benefits. That's things like raising the minimum wage, making sure people have health insurance and paid sick days and those sorts of things. And then overturning the policies that have failed. We had a lot of promises around right to work, around repealing the prevailing wage, and none of those promises of those policies have come to fruition. But workers in states with right to work, have lower wages, higher workplace injuries, and that's really what we're seeing here in West Virginia. So that's the good jobs section. We also talk about investing in every community. I talked about, really shoring up infrastructure in places that need it, clean water, roads, and bridges. I mean, if we want all corners, all counties of West Virginia to grow, we've got to invest in all of those places and make sure they have the basics, they have job training available, they have education available. But it's also about protecting rural schools. You all talked about rural school closures earlier today. We put out an analysis that all 14 schools that were slated or approved for closure this year could be saved or open for another year for $28 million. Just for comparison, take this for example, in the budget lawmakers passed this year, they parked more than that, $29 million into a fund to maybe use for future tax cuts sometime in the future. So, rural school closures are not inevitable. Not to say a school should never close, but there are, ways. If we as West Virginians want to keep our neighborhood schools close to home, we can fund schools in a different way, as you all talked about. So this is about investing in those rural places, making sure everybody has access to basic public services, many of which are promised in our state constitution. And then the final section is really about making sure families and workers can afford the basics, access to affordable health care, access to affordable child care, job training, higher education, things that help families thrive, but also make sure they can be productive members of the economy and the workforce.
Should we, and we're talking to Kelley Allen, West Virginia Center on Budget and Policy, should we be more focused on investing in the infrastructure? And what I mean is there are places where you can invest in roads, infrastructure to have site-ready places to build manufacturing, data centers, whatever the case may be. That has a return on investment. There are other areas where, say we build a road, well, we've built a road, but there's nobody on it because there's nobody there. Do we need to be more focused and targeted in that type of investment?
Well, I think first I'll say there's a lot of research that shows different economic development strategies and how much they cost to create a job. Basically, one of the most expensive ways you can create a job is through like a corporate subsidy. And we've seen a lot of focus on that in recent years as a way to attract businesses. There's a lot of research that things like job training, things like job-ready sites in rural places that lack jobs, those give you basically a per job cost at a much lower rate. So like absolutely, yes, we should be investing in those things. And I'm somebody who believes that families who've lived in a place for generations and chosen to raise their families there, no matter how rural, should still have access to basic public services. Certainly, there may be a little bit of travel to a job and those sorts of things, but we can't expect places to grow if they don't have clean water, if they don't have good roads and bridges. People should be able to live and reside in the places they've raised their families for generations.
Let's talk about minimum wage. Correct me if I'm wrong. You cite in the report an increase to West Virginia's minimum wage. This is a target that your organization is suggesting of $17 per hour. Let's walk through an exercise for a minute. Wilson's Hardware is in the fine community of St. Mary's. I got 20 employees, right? I'm a mom and pop. I'm already fighting the big box stores who can do it cheaper. And you want to raise minimum wage. Maybe I already pay some people more than 17. Maybe I pay some people less. I don't know. But if I have to up that, surely you would agree, I'm either going to make less and take a cut as the owner of that store, or I'm going to pass that along to consumers. I'm going to put it on my shelves in terms of pricing. So I was already higher than the box stores. I was making up the difference on service and local and these kinds of things. Consumers may just say, sorry, can't do it. Going to go elsewhere. The inflationary pressures of what you are talking about with moving to $17 an hour, surely you would admit that that could be a problem. How do we address that?
Well, I mean, certainly it could be phased in over a period. And there's, I just want to say up top, this is the longest period that we've gone in West Virginia without raising the minimum wage in 50 years. So there's certainly, I think some room for bringing that up. And it's been, far too long since we've addressed this. But yeah, I mean, I think there are benefits to raising the minimum wage that offset some of what you're talking about. There was a recent study, I think in, dreaded California, but essentially it showed that raising the minimum wage there, really didn't result in rising costs, and it didn't have some of the negative effects that, detractors of the policy said. I mean, there's also the fact that, if 186,000 West Virginia workers get a raise, that's more money for them to spend in the local economy, more money circulating. So I think there's room to talk about what that great point is, but there are a lot of benefits for, again, workers and families who need help affording things and then turn around and spend that money in the local economy.
Talking to Kelley Allen, West Virginia Center on Budget and Policy. You also brought up housing burden. 20% of West Virginia households are cost burdened, spending over 30% of their income on housing. 10% spend over half of that, half their income on housing. The best way I know to bring down the housing cost, increase the supply, but it's also really hard to build in West Virginia. So what would you propose to bring down the cost of housing?
Breaking news, I just saw President Trump canceled the signing for the
That
bipartisan housing. Woo! Okay, so putting that aside, I think West Virginia, depending on where you are in West Virginia, the housing issues are different. So there are some areas, growing areas, where we definitely need more housing supply. Tourism areas, the Eastern Panhandle areas that are growing. But there's actually kind of a different issue that we face in more rural parts of the state, where the housing issue is like dilapidation of homes, like a lot of repairs and things like that needed. So we try to tackle ways that would address both of those things. So yes, 100% increasing the housing supply, ensuring that administrative barriers are removed, but also public dollars are invested in programs that increase, but also ensuring, renters have protections, and making investments that reduce homelessness, that increase resources for, things like making sure people can repair their homes that they want to stay in and make them safe and sustainable in the long term.
My chest started to hurt a little bit when I saw in here, you want a wealth proceeds tax. Walk me through what that would look like.
Yeah, so I saw your commentary today, and I think, again, we can quibble about the details of this, but I think it feels unfair to people that we tax income differently. So earned wages are taxed at a particular level, whereas things like dividends from stocks and capital gains are actually, at the federal level, at least, taxed at a lower rate. So I think, tax equity would say that no matter where your income is earned, whether it's through wages or through like investments and things that mostly wealthier people have access to, it should be taxed at the same level. So that's essentially what this policy is. I can send you.
But it is in West Virginia, right? If you realize a gain, a capital gain here, it's taxed at whatever your income tax rate is in West Virginia. Do I have that wrong?
This proposal would mirror something at the federal level that would just ensure that.
So
and you're
15%. 20%, 15, what is it now, 15 or 20?
I think it's 4. You're putting me on the spot because I didn't write this part of the report.
You're fine. But you're not talking about an unrealized tax on wealth.
No.
Okay. All right. Fair enough.
Does your chest feel better?
Look, I'm not, look.
I kid because I care.
I know. I'm curious, I'm just trying to bring a little levity to the situation,
Kelley, before we let you go, we got about a minute here, but Hope Scholarship, what do we do with it?
Well, I mean, I think, once again, we've seen doubling in enrollment year over year. And just to be clear, 100% of the growth or so from this year is to subsidize people who are already paying for private school, who are already had access to and were in private school or homeschool. So I think the exponential growth of this program just really reflects the importance of transparency, accountability, having, test results, understanding that educational outcomes of folks that are using this program, making sure the dollars go to accredited in-state schools. And again, for $28 million, a tenth of what was allocated to the Hope Scholarship, we could keep a bunch of schools open that are closing. We could help rejigger that school funding formula, ensure that no counties lose out. And yeah, public schools educate 85% of our students and must be prioritized by lawmakers. And the Hope Scholarship has been kind of sucking all the air out of the room in the legislature. And we really hope lawmakers will put their focus on the school system that serves the vast majority of our students.
Kelley Allen, West Virginia Center on Budget and Policy. You can read the report for yourself. wvpolicy.org is the website. Kelley, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thanks, y'all.
Take a break. Back in a moment. This is Talkline from the Encova Insurance Studios.
Right now, America is hungry for energy, more power, more reliability, and more security. So here's a question worth asking. Why not coal? And why not now? West Virginia sits on one of the most abundant energy resources in the world. Generations of miners, proven infrastructure, and coal-fired power plants already delivering dependable, around-the-clock electricity. At a time when demand is surging and reliability matters more than ever, coal isn't a question mark, it's a solution. Today, there's robust support in West Virginia and Washington to strengthen American energy independence using the resources we already have. So again, we ask, why not coal? And why not now? Because when it comes to powering our homes, our hospitals, our economy, and new opportunities, West Virginia Coal is ready. A message from the Friends of Coal, powering America today and tomorrow.
Summer in West Virginia means open roads, blue skies, and endless possibilities. But if you don't have reliable wheels, getting to work or making it to a doctor's appointment can feel like an uphill climb. That's where Good News Mountaineer Garage comes in. We take donated vehicles, fix them up, and get them to fellow mountaineers who need them the most. This summer, let's keep our community moving. Donate a vehicle today by calling 866-GIVE-CAR or visit goodnewsmountaineergarage.org. Donate a car, change a life.
You're listening to Talkline on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
With Metro News Hotline, if it's trending, it's
leading the efforts to build a stronger West Virginia. The High Technology Foundation has a proven plan to strengthen and diversify our state's economy. The I-79 Technology Park's high-capacity infrastructure continues to attract advanced federal operations that are driving economic growth. This keeps our young, educated residents in the state and brings West Virginians home. The High Technology Foundation, building a stronger West Virginia. Learn more today at wvhtf.org.
In 1914, the same year the first commercial flight soared and the Panama Canal opened, Greer Industries was born. Herbert and Agnes Greer began in Morgantown, West Virginia, striking the first pick into the limestone formation that would become the backbone of one of the state's great industrial legacies. From the roads we drive on, the buildings we build, and the communities we serve, Greer Industries has been delivering quality for decades. At Greer Industries, we've been improving lives for more than a century.
We're Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration, and we're gonna save you. We've got it down to a science, an absolute state of art. We do it all, restoration, cleaning, and reconstruction. When disaster strikes, just pick up the phone. We're Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration, and we're gonna save you.
Sunshine, open roads, and a new Toyota from Dan Cava Toyota World. Lease an all-new Camry for as low as $398 a month. All new Tundras now up to $8,000 off. All new Tacomas now up to $4,500 off or lease as low as $399 a month. $7,500 off the new BZ or 0% financing for 72 months. We've got a Toyota for you at Dan Cava Toyota World in Fairmont. Shop the world.
Just to put an exclamation mark on your point about the minimum wage, Mr. Meadows, this is from the UC. This is from a study from UC Santa Cruz, out in California. The effect on job availability after raising the minimum wage out in California.
Yeah.
According to this report, indicated that rising labor costs led to a decline in overall shift hours, reduced overtime, and moderate job losses. Consumer prices, we're talking about fast food, McDonald's, Burger King, etc. Sure. Menu prices were increased to offset higher operating expenses. Moderate increases range from 1.5% to 3.7%. That could be an increase of $4 per hamburger, by the way. Automation and operations. To mitigate the 25% surge in labor costs, some franchise owners have accelerated investments in efficiency, adopting technological alternatives like self-order kiosks and AI-driven ordering systems to offset the cost. That was when California said, was it $20 per hour mandate for fast food chains out in the Golden State.
Economics, my friend. I ran the math. Low end is 15% on cap gains. Sometimes it goes up to 20. Our top rate in West Virginia now is 4.58%. If you were to take the income in West Virginia, income tax on a realized capital gain, and match the federal level, that is an increase of roughly 375%. Translation: make sure you get the heck out of here before you realize anything out of your 401k or retirement, or you're going to pay out the nose on it. Don't ever invest in a brokerage fund and live here and want to take anything out of it, because you're going to pay the nose on it. We talk about bleeding people. There goes the good people that we had. I mean, I don't know any other way to put it.
304 Talk. 304 is the text line. 800-765-8255. That's the phone number. I'm writing that down from my unofficial financial advisor. We'll switch gears. U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of West Virginia, more Capito, going to join us on the other side of the news. This is Talkline from the Encova Insurance Studios, only on Metro News. For 40 years, Metro News has been the voice of West Virginia. It's 11:30. Let's get a news update from the Metro News Radio Network. Find out.
Today's Metro News television forecast is brought to you by Solango Law. Get results, not excuses.
Meteorologist Joe Ansel here with your latest forecast on a Wednesday. All of us get a break of the rain today, and then by Thursday night, Friday, Saturday, some likely chances return. It'll be potentially another active pattern, as we'll watch for some risks of excessive rain for the end of the week and the weekend. That may bring in some flood and flash flooding concerns again. Stay tuned. Zooming into Thursday, some northern areas of the state included in a marginal risk for some isolated severe storms late tomorrow. I'll keep eyes on. Today's a high-pressure weather day. Had a high of 77 yesterday, 8 below average in Charleston. Since we're dry, all the extra moisture from the recent rain, likely some patchy to widespread fog for the river valley areas. It might be stubborn to dissipate well after sunrise today. Be mindful of low visibility. And then by late tomorrow, well, time a warm front and then a cold front setting up shop northwest, and multiple rounds of passing showers and storms with those features for the end of the week. Fly Saver forecast, it starts at home. Chicago, high of 80. An isolated severe storm late in the day. Can't be ruled out there near the Windy City. From Panhandle to Panhandle, 70s to 80s. Near 80, potentially dry, sunny for you. In eastern areas, we got some low, borderline, a couple of mid-80s to the east and eastern Panhandle. Some upper 60s noted there. Some of the higher elevation spots. Be mindful of dense fog for the morning, then a mix of sun and clouds in the afternoon. To the south, dense fog in the morning, mix of sun and clouds later in the afternoon. We will have increasing warmth and humidity with some warm lows near 70 or so during the overnights. 80s for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday with likely chances of showers and storms. Monday and Tuesday are likely dry and will be increasing heat and humidity. As we get drier weather Monday and Tuesday, that's when some of these higher temps will likely break through. 90 on Monday, 93 on Tuesday, and a low near 71 there for Monday night.
This is Ben Solango with Solango Law. Solango Law has earned a reputation for getting excellent results for our clients. With decades of experience handling thousands of cases, we know what it takes to deliver. Proudly voted Best in the Valley for 3 consecutive years by readers of the Charleston Gazette-Mail, Solango Law is deeply committed to giving back by investing in our community. From supporting local programs to making our region a better place to live, Solango Law is proud to be your trusted legal and community partner. Check us out at solangolaw.com.
When you hired me,
you were 29. You seemed like you were 50 when you were 29. You were running that thing like a 50-year-old man. All right, we got to go get some tape. Come on, get out there.
I think I've sort of always been 50, and I think I'm 50 now.
Yeah, me too.
That's a great point.
Join Tony Caridi, Brad Howe, and Hoppy Kercheval for Three Guys Before the Game. Metro News Television. Available on mobile, Roku, Fire TV, smart TVs, and online at wvmetronewstv.com.
I'm Chris Lawrence.
.304 Talk, 304, the text line, 800-765-8255. Let me get to a couple of texts here before we talk to more Capito. Hope Scholarship? ? Read the article, A Pig and a Poke on your program. Gives a lot of info and answers. Isn't that the game show the Griswolds were on in European Vacation, Pig and a Poke?
No
At the very
idea.
beginning. Zach, check into that.
Pig and a poke.
304 Talk, 304. Dave and TJ, you guys might be missing the wave coming. Free enterprise is survival of the fittest, like Darwin. To save the rhinoceroses, it takes groups of people to ignore market pressure. Maybe it's time to use democratic socialism of the people to save the middle class from billionaires out for their own self-interest. 304 Talk, 304. This ain't California, says the texter. No, it is not. Extremely well explained, TJ, says the texter. Job training is useless when there are no good paying jobs to train people for or places for them to work, says the texter. Just a quick note, we'll get to more here. That I understand what the texter's saying, but also, TJ, you have to go where the jobs are. And maybe that means the jobs aren't in a particular county or city. Maybe they're still in West Virginia, and there are a lot of good jobs. I talk to people all the time that say, I'm looking for mechanics. There are people in the aerospace industry who are looking. There are contractors who are looking for laborers, for heaven's sakes, in a lot of places. There are jobs, but you may have to leave a particular town or county to find them. And that's hard. I'm not dismissing how hard that is, but that may be the case. That's all.
Well, I think practical examples often give way to logic. And, the state of California has a wealth initiative on its ballot. Coming up in November. And I talked about this in my commentary. You can go link there and read the whole initiative, etc. But liberal Gavin Newsom fighting against a wealth tax in California. Fighting against it. This is a guy that is very progressive, checks the box, always in on anything that's big government and taxation. He says this is bad for California because he knows people will leave in droves.
And he's got a lot of millionaires who will leave.
Exactly.
All right, we'll switch gears dramatically here. Bring in U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of West Virginia, More Capito, announcing yesterday fraud conspiracy charges against sober living home founder and spouse Raymond C. Meadows and his wife Helen Crutcher Meadows. No relation.
I got to get that out there.
I thought we should probably point that out. Conspired to commit wire fraud through their roles at Lifehouse Incorporated, a nonprofit, long-term, faith-based substance abuse recovery program headquartered in Huntington. Please welcome to the program the U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of West Virginia, More Capito. More, good morning. Good to talk to you again.
Yeah, good morning, Dave. Good morning, TJ. Thank you for having me on.
Absolutely. Appreciate you taking some time. So what was going on with this couple and this recovery center in Huntington?
Well, first let me say that this was a long-term and a lot of hard work went into the investigation that you're reading about and we're talking about today, as it involves lots of spreadsheets, lots of money moving from one entity to another, and it's also part of a larger initiative that we've seen, and I applaud the president for pushing all of us to be more diligent on, which is our national healthcare fraud takedown. As we know, all of our jobs, especially those of us in the United States Attorney's Office, is to ensure that, that taxpayer dollars are not part of any fraud, waste, or abuse efforts by folks in our community. I think we sort of discovered that there were some inconsistencies in billing schemes that were going on at Lifehouse in Huntington. Of course, we worked this case for many, many hours, and were able to discover that there was a fraud there was a scheme, frankly, to defraud taxpayers of dollars ultimately.
So they were milking hours, right? More, I mean, just to put it simply, they were billing hours that they never actually performed any work. Is that fair?
Yeah. So there is a distinction. So it wasn't necessarily that a patient that was going through the recovery services that Lifehouse was providing it wasn't that they weren't necessarily getting the services. The problem is that they were billing for services that they could have never performed. It would have been the equivalent, TJ, of Dave's off on vacation and you have someone standing in on Talkline for the week, but yet Dave is saying he did Talkline all week and got paid for doing Talkline all week. And sort of that's what we had going on, but it wasn't 1 week. It was systematic, it was repetitive, and frankly, it was egregious because many of the billings weren't just for 40 hours a week. They extended into overtime hours on many, many occasions, and finally that was ratcheted back to limit it to 40 hours. But when you look at it at the end of the day, if you were doing everything that these people purported that they were doing in a week, there aren't enough hours in the day.
U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of Moore Capito joining us here on MetroNews Talkline. And more, these charges coming as part of the federal Department of Justice's 2026 National Healthcare Fraud Takedown. So essentially, they're billing the government here, trying to milk taxpayer dollars. Was that the scheme, the basic gist of it?
There's no question about it. So what you do is you have the recovery system that has people that are coming in and out. And we know about the problems that we've seen in Huntington. We know of the severity of the scourge, the drug scourge that happened in Huntington. Anytime that you have zillions of dollars coming in, as you all have probably reported on in different areas, you have people that flock to try to get a piece of that money. And I've said, as I've gone around all 23 of our counties, if you have recovery service places that you think something's going on, you need to say something because there's so much going in so fast. So let me put that there as a request and a help, and ask for help from anybody in any of our counties if they see something sort of funky going on, because we know how much this has touched every single community and every single person in the state of West Virginia. But essentially what you have is you have this recovery, entity or recovery institution where people are going to try to get over their addiction. And what's happening is they will subcontract with a group for, in this case, drug testing, okay? And they will subcontract with the group that drug tests. And then the drug testing group will have a staffing agency that goes and hires people. And the drug testing entity will get reimbursed from Medicaid, from the CMS, the Medicaid group, and that money routes through the staffing agency and then ultimately into the institution. So, yes, you're exactly right. This is government money that's getting sort of weaved through accounts and ultimately comes back to the recovery center.
These folks enjoy a presumption of innocence until they are duly convicted in a court of law, if they are. Talk to us about what penalties they will face and how aggressive will you and your office be in ensuring they are penalized to the maximum extent of the law.
Well, I think there's two things. We will absolutely make sure that we ask for the harshest punishment possible. Really, TJ, for two reasons. Number one, when you're abusing taxpayer dollars, that's something that I take very seriously. Our office takes very seriously. I know President Trump takes that very seriously. And you're talking about an area that is purporting to help people, vulnerable people that are really in the throes of addiction, have no other place to look, have hit rock bottom. They're also desperate in their lives. So you're really sort of taking advantage of people that will do whatever you tell them to do, number one, because they're trying to get better. And number two, you're taking advantage of dollars that are being put forward to help these people, and you're putting those dollars in your pocket to profit for yourself.
More Capito, U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of West Virginia. Quickly, also, there was a civil settlement resolving allegations involving West Virginia sleep centers. What was that?
Essentially, in that case, what we had evaluate. There was a sleep center that was supposed to be performing sleep studies on patients to see if that sleep study was contributing to healthcare concerns. And what we found out was those studies were being performed by individuals that were not qualified to perform those studies. And that settlement came out yesterday also as a part of this national initiative, and we were happy to get that buttoned up for an amount of money that we're able to bring back into the taxpayer coffers.
U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of West Virginia, Moore Capito. Again, there was the settlement, the civil settlement, and the fraud conspiracy charges against the Sober Living Home founder and spouse. Moore, we appreciate the update. Thank you so much. Good to talk to you again.
Hey, good to talk to you guys. I appreciate it. Take care. Thanks.
You as well. We'll get to the text line. I promise. 304-TALK-304. That is the text line, 800-765-TALK, 800-765-8255. That is the phone number. CityNet is West Virginia's local internet provider. High-speed and reliable fiber internet is probably right at your front door. You may not even know it. Now is the perfect time to connect with local customer support you can trust. Fast, reliable fiber internet built for everyday life. So when it comes to high-speed internet you need, CityNet.net connects, protects, and perfects. Back in a moment. This is Talkline from the Encova Insurance Studios.
They say you can't take the lottery with you. But now you can play anywhere, anytime with iPlay, the West Virginia Lottery's official app. From Cooper's Rock to the Greenbrier River, from the bleachers to your living room, iPlay goes where you do. Safe, simple, and always West Virginia proud. Play anywhere, anytime. Download iPlay today. iPlay, the fun, secure way to play, wherever life takes you. 18 plus to play. Play responsibly.
Building a stronger West Virginia isn't just a dream, it's a mission. The High Technology Foundation knows economic diversity is the key. For over 30 years, they've been dedicated to transforming the state's economic landscape. Conveniently located in the heart of West Virginia, innovation, growth, opportunity, all under one roof. There's no need to look far for change. It's happening right here at the High Technology Foundation in North Central West Virginia. Visit WVHTF.org to learn more.
Approach your retirement with confidence. With over 150 years of combined experience, the advisors of the Stike team at Wealth Enhancement Group provide advice and wealth management strategies to individuals, families, small businesses, professional offices, and institutions. With the Stike team, you'll have access to an advising team with extensive resources, a client-first mindset, and a passion for helping transform the lives of those we serve. Visit wealthenhancement.com/Stike today and join the team that's dedicated to your success.
You're listening to Talkline on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
In 1914, the same year the first commercial flight soared and the Panama Canal opened, Greer Industries was born. Herbert and Agnes Greer began in Morgantown, West Virginia, striking the first pick into the limestone formation that would become the backbone of one of the state's great industrial legacies. From the roads we drive on, the buildings we build, and the communities we serve, Greer Industries has been delivering quality for decades. At Greer Industries, we've been improving lives for more than a century.
For couples that are experiencing infertility, about half will have the male factor in the diagnosis. At the WVU Medicine Center for Reproductive Medicine, we offer a wide array of treatment options for male factor infertility. There's really no reason you would need to go anywhere else. If we can identify and treat male factor infertility, we can prevent couples from even having to go down the road of IVF, saving you potentially money and time. We're here to help build a family. We have the capabilities and we care.
5, 3. For your daily fix of sports in West Virginia, there's only one stop.
I would imagine a group of you got together and watched the Mountaineers last night. What were your thoughts on that performance?
It was funny, we were sitting with a guy last night, and he said, all right, I'm going to go put $1,000 on it. Well, down the stretch of that ball game, he's looking at us like, are you kidding me? And sure enough, the Mountaineers came back. I saw him today. He said, yep, I'm putting another $1,000 on them tomorrow.
Sportsline on Metro News Television.
The best selection of WVU apparel is at Daniel's Men's Store. Exclusive designs you won't find anywhere else. Stylish, sophisticated, and unmistakably mountaineer. Shop in store or online at danielsofmorgantown.com.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong.
MetroNews Talkline is presented by Encova Insurance, encircling you with coverage to protect what you care about most. Visit Encova.com to learn more.
May not feel like it because you're probably at work right now. But it's time to think about getting on the lakes and rivers because summer has arrived, and it's best that you be ready by checking out all the great deals on pontoon and fishing boats at Lou Wendell Marine Sales. Check out the entire inventory at LouWendellMarineSales.com. Lou Wendell Marine Sales. We sell family fun. The text line, I know we have neglected it today. I'll try to make up for that as best we can in the remaining 12 minutes of the show. Texter says, this displays a black eye in the behavioral health field that has worked really hard to change that narrative. There are issues that exist, but for most part, folks are doing a good job in West Virginia with the resources they have. There's always a few bad actors. I mean, I get it. And here's the other problem, TJ. How often have you heard this phrase? It's government money. And as a justification for, putting a little, that job cost a little bit extra. High bidding. That's government money. It's government money.
It's cheating.
Mm-hmm. Sure it is.
It's stealing. And people do it way too often. And so that's why I asked about penalties. If they're convicted, max penalty.
Look, I can tell you with a great amount of confidence, there are any number of individuals and entities out there that when they have to buy a hammer, it is the $180 hammer that, it's the most expensive one. That's what you're getting. That's what they're going to charge the government for. If they're going to buy a box of nails for a project, it's the most expensive. They're chrome plated, buddy. So they say.
Always,
it goes on.
Always negotiate open book contracts. Make them justify everything. Anyway, that's another topic.
Let's see. 304 Talk 304. I don't know what that's kind of mean. Guys, when are you going to realize the Office of Budget and Policy is a bunch of liberals? Well, look, yes, the West Virginia Center for Budget and Policy is certainly left of center. I'll say that. But it's good to have these conversations. And at least they come to the table. Kelley Allen will come to the table, not just identify problems or complain, like you pointed out, TJ. They'll propose solutions, may not agree with all of them, but at least they're out there identifying problems and proposing answers. I'll give them that. You're right.
How much better a world would it be if people actually said what they think and what they wanted? Look, I don't agree with anything. I'll have to read it more in detail. I don't think I agree with anything in that report. I commend her for coming forward, advocating for what she wants, telling people what she wants. How many politicians do you get that out of? On either side of the aisle, almost zero.
And look, that report, it does identify, it identifies the problems. Again, may not agree with the solutions, but it does identify the problems. 304 Talk 304. Did we read that one? Yes. Texter says, it's bizarre to me that wealthy people can borrow against unrealized wealth to use as income, but they can't pay taxes on it because they don't physically have it. Well, when they borrow it, the tax should come out of what they just borrowed. It's a loophole unless I'm missing something. My unofficial financial advisor.
I can't fathom why we would tax debt in any context. Because the point, debt is satisfied as a commodity through interest. It's not as if I have $1 billion net worth and I go take out a $100 million loan. It's not as if I'm not paying interest back to the lending institution. That's how debt is reconciled. I can't understand why we would ever see a need to tax debt and why that would be a good public policy. But I'm willing to listen if you want to try to convince me.
Texter says raising minimum wage does not help anyone because when it goes up, so does the price of everything. The Center for Democratic Policy Factory, with a name that sounds official but is really a Democrat think tank, but you like having them on the show, so I listen. Again, we explained that already. We can't because we're going broke with no hope funding, says the texter. Gas prices. Hey, I got time here. In Inwood yesterday, it was $3.25. Yesterday evening, $3.65. This morning, $3.59. That seems to be all over the place. This texter
Sounds
sends...
like throwing darts or something.
Wow, this is a screenshot from Gas Buddy. $2.72 in Moundsville, $2.81 in Weston, $3.04 in Elkins, $3.06 in Kaiser. Can anybody confirm that? Not that I don't believe the texter. I'm just, we double source things here on this show. That one's really long. Sorry, Doug. Let me see if we can get to that on the other side of the break. Let me take the final break. Doug put a lot of effort into this text. I mean, a lot of effort. We'll get to it. 304-TALK. 304 is the text line. 800-765-TALK, the phone number. Jackpots are growing in West Virginia. Jackpots are on the rise every week. Powerball hits Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays. Mega Millions lights up Tuesdays and Fridays. That's 5 chances a week to get in on life-changing jackpots. Play in store and online. 18 plus to play. Please play responsibly. The Powerball jackpot is $327 million. Mega Millions jackpot is $489 million. So go ahead, play today. Couple of more texts. We'll wrap things up for a Wednesday. This is Talkline from the Encova Insurance Studios.
We are there for you, to care for you at the health plan. We are here for you.
For over 4 decades, we've been rooted deep inside West Virginia. Through thick and thin, supporting local families and businesses. Proudly serving your neighborhood since 1979. Your trusted partner in the community.
The health plan, we are here for you.
They say you can't take the lottery with you. But now, you can play anywhere, anytime, with iPlay, the West Virginia Lottery's official app. From Cooper's Rock to the Greenbrier River, from the bleachers to your living room, iPlay goes where you do. Safe, simple, and always West Virginia proud. Play anywhere, anytime. Download iPlay today. iPlay, the fun, secure way to play, wherever life takes you. 18 plus to play. Play responsibly.
You're listening to Talkline on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
I'm Sean Kovich, Mountaineer Golf Coach. When disaster strikes your home, business, or golf game, call the restoration company the Mountaineers call. Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration.
For couples that are experiencing infertility, about half will have the male factor in the diagnosis. At the WVU Medicine Center for Reproductive Medicine, we offer a wide array of treatment options for male factor infertility. There's really no reason you would need to go anywhere else. If we can identify and treat male factor infertility, we can prevent couples from even having to go down the road of IVF, saving you potentially money and time. We're here to help build a family. We have the capabilities and we care.
Leading the efforts to build a stronger West Virginia, the High Technology Foundation has a proven plan to strengthen and diversify our state's economy. The I-79 Technology Park's high-capacity infrastructure continues to attract advanced federal operations that are driving economic growth. This keeps our young, educated residents in the state and brings West Virginians home. The High Technology Foundation, building a stronger West Virginia. Learn more today at WVHTF.org.
Longer days, warmer drives, and better deals at Dan Cava GMC. Hit the road in one of our new luxury GMC Acadias. Take your pick from our massive selection. Now up to $5,500 off select new Acadias and 3.9% for 60 months. The great deals continue with our large selection of quality pre-owned vehicles. All this and more at Dan Cava GMC in Bridgeport. Shop the world.
This text from Doug. The issues around public education is not a school aid formula issue. To just change the formula, you're just shuffling the same pot of limited money from one county to another and not fixing the real issues. The situation requires a complete teardown and creation of a new model. Consolidate school districts, an honest, comprehensive funding plan for all of the required student services, long-term facilities plan to deal with aging infrastructure, new funding. This does not even include the discussion that must be had concerning how education is delivered. Is the shift to technology, online learning, and consolidation in general truly a benefit for our students and their educational growth journey? Change the formula all you want, but without a substantially better plan and more funding applied to the public education system, nothing will change. Love the show, says Doug in Winfield. Well said, Doug. Actually, that's better said than most of the politicians that I have heard
Spot on,
articulated.
Doug. Got smart people in Winfield, man. I'm telling you, there's something in the water down in Winfield. Yeah, I mean, seriously, they get it. They get it. I don't meet many people from Winfield that don't get it. And I know that's in my neck of the woods, but, I mean, look, he's spot on. And the dirty little secret about the school aid formula right now, too, let's just go ahead and address it. We talk about how we don't like subsidies. What do you think the school aid formula is?
What's a subsidy?
It's a subsidy. And you've got a few counties propping up many counties. It's just the economic facts of life.
And look, the way the system was built, my understanding, and boy, we've run out of time. The reason we have the 55 county school systems, because that's what we have. We have 55 systems. The counties were local control, right? The counties were supposed to take care of their own schools. The state would supplement that. And now we've kind of flipped it around where the state is, these systems are reliant on the state aid formula. There you go. So,
same problem with roads. We live to talk another day, David.
Well, as far as I know, there are a bunch of people 2 floors up from me right now that may say otherwise, but, maybe they're not listening today. All right, we're back tomorrow morning. Thursdays with Hoppy tomorrow? Yeah, it's Thursday. Hoppy stops by. Talk to you then. This is Talkline on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.